What if you could do something that no one had ever done before, and that most people hadn't even considered possible? What if you could go as fast as a race car in a machine designed to keep up pace of play? I'm Jeff Eisenband, and we're here in Fort Mill, South Carolina, the home of Robby Steen and his family. For the last 2 decades, they've operated Plum Quick Motors, specializing in high-performance golf cart motors. And what better way to show off the product than to use it yourself at the highest level? The Steens have become synonymous for a record they created. In 2013 and 2014, using the Bandit, they set the pace for world's fastest golf cart at 118.76 miles per hour. When we heard Robby was trying to break his own record once again, we had to hop along for the ride. What drives a person to go after something so obscure, so dangerous, and so unique?
Why create the fastest golf cart? It takes a certain person to do stuff that a lot of people look at and say, stupid, you're crazy, what's the point? It's just a drive. You know, I can't explain it. If we're going to do it, there's no benefit to do it and be average. If you're going to do it, you got to be extraordinary. People don't remember average, and that's just the way life is. I'll put it this way, I will be extremely disappointed if we don't break 150 on the Sackett Pass in a quarter mile. I'll be extremely disappointed. If you're going to be the best, you're not going to be the best by just accidentally falling into it. You got to put in the time. And that's what separates people. A lot of people want to do things, but they don't want to sacrifice. I'm willing to make that sacrifice to reach certain points, and then when I get there and either don't have the drive or don't have the nerves or satisfied, then I'll just turn it off and walk. But until then, I can't do that.
It really was my father. At first, he wanted to try to get a golf cart to run 80 miles an hour. And we worked on that, and a lot of trial and error, we got to that point. Robby drives the car, I don't drive it, because I'm not that stupid to drive a golf cart that fast.
Robby, you start really taking racing these golf carts seriously. This is the executioner here. How does this start the dream a little bit?
Right. Well, this is one of the earlier drag cars. This one started drag racing with this one probably around 2008. It started out, this car would run the high 80s, low 90s. Later years, we put in a lithium battery pack in it, which was more power, lighter weight. This cart was running like 105, 106 and an eighth of a mile.
And so you said you got this over 100 miles per hour, which was the original goal with your father. That's what you wanted to see.
Right. Right.
But this didn't count in the Guinness Book of World Records. Why?
Yes, this, even though it's a golf cart, as you see, we set this up as a single seater. For the Guinness World Record, you know, it's got to start life as a golf cart. It's got to be a golf cart. Now, you can highly modify it, you know, but one of the things is it has to be a 2-seater. But also, it has to perform as a golf cart. You know, it's got to be capable of playing golf.
So, first time Robby drove the cart, even though the cart caught on fire, you know, you thought that would end it for us, trying that, but no, we kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until we got a cart to run in the hundreds, then we got a cart to run about 140, and now he's trying to get one to run about 150, 160.
Now, we said with the executioner, right, you needed to reset everything to have that sort of golf style that the Guinness Book of World Records wanted. So what'd you do with this one?
Right. Basically what we did, once we got turned down on that because it was a single-seater, I thought, well, you know, the best way to go now is just go with a completely stock golf cart. They can't say nothing about that. So that's basically what we did. We went with a bone stock golf cart. We put the golf bags on it and all. This cart, you can drive it just like a regular golf cart.
That last one we saw had a cage. Most of these have cages.
Right.
This doesn't. It just got this on the side. When you look back at going 118.76 in this with nothing on the side, what do you think of that?
Stupid. I tell people, Whenever you look at the harness right here, I tell people really the biggest thing that was for is so if I was to flip, they wouldn't have to look for me. I'd be tied to the cart, because it's not going to help you. This cart right here holds 2 Guinness World Records, and so this will always be a special cart because, you know, me and Pop both worked on it together.
My father really wanted to have a world record, and Robby did too, we all did, but my father really wanted to have a world record. And once that was set, you know, my father was on cloud 9.
All right, Robby, this is a Model T golf cart. There is actual golf cart aspects of this. What am I sitting in?
Right. My dad built this years ago. Just one that he just handmade. You know, he just liked doing stuff like that, building stuff. You don't want to go fast on something like this. Well, we both, you know, like to invent, you know, seeing how far you can do things. Good example with Pop, you know, people knew how to work him. They'd come in, something was messed up or broke, they'd say, Carson, I'm gonna bring this to you. I done took it to everybody else, they said it can't be fixed. And Pop would lay down what he's doing and said, let me look at it. And he said, so they said it couldn't be fixed. Huh? I said, let me show you. And then before you know it, I don't care how long it took him, he's gonna fix it.
Kind of hate he wasn't here for this, you know. I mean, he would really enjoy it, you know, going for another, you know, trying to break that record. But I'm sure he's up above looking at us.
There was a while there that, you know, he didn't like it. He, you know, tried to discourage me from it. Then whenever he found out I was gonna do it anyway, then he was right in there with it. You know, we all have good things, bad things, ups and downs, family issues and stuff. You know, no different from anybody else, but the thing is you don't give up, be it in business or on your family. I mean, we're all taking a ride. You only get one pass through, make the best of it. That's one thing about Pop. He told, you know, he'd say, you know, don't worry about me. Good Lord's got me. Hey, I've lived a great life. I've done things that other people didn't do, accomplished things. I mean, he had several patents, inventor, wrote his own book with a 6th grade education. Just all of his accomplishments, and it wasn't like he was lucky, he worked for it. The business was started in 1976 by my father. It was called C.D. Steen and Sons, and my dad was working at Springs Mill in Fort Mill, and so on the weekend at nights, we would do repair work, textile repair work and stuff like that. Then we got into doing a lot of R&D work. We changed the name to Steen Products Incorporated. At that time, that's at the end when we were starting to do golf cart motors. Every year, it took over a little bit more and more of the business until it got to the point that was the business. I mean, it kind of consumed everything.
We've been talking a lot about the world's fastest golf cart. Now let's check out how it's made in this building, the equipment in here. How long has it been around?
Building's around 1976. Equipment's back from the 60s, 70s. So it's old, but it gets the job done.
All right, let's check it out then. All right, Robby, so this is Jacob, your son here,
Right,
and
right.
this is where things start. What happens here?
Basically, we unbox the motors, and then Jacob starts the disassembly.
We'll upgrade different parts, change out other parts, clean everything up because the motors get extremely dirty from the carbon dust on the brushes, and everything will be repainted and then reassembled, tested, boxed up, and sent back out.
I learned from my dad mainly, you know, hard work pays off, what a man is, what you're supposed to do, how to take care of people.
One of the big drivers with everything is we try to keep as much as we can in the family, because if we've got to outsource different things to other people, that's money leaving the family.
And you've been doing this since you were in diapers, basically.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think I could lift a 50-pound motor in my diapers. If I could, I'd be pretty beefy.
But you just do go about this so seamlessly right now.
My grandfather always said that if you did enough motors, you'd eventually see them in your sleep, and I sure do.
So basically what he's doing is doing a complete tear down so we can actually inspect all the parts and see if anything needs to be repaired.
see if someone left you some funny business in there or
Right,
something
right.
like that. Why does someone send a motor like this to get it fixed up?
These are standard, like these are off of a Club Car IQ, probably a precedent and all. These motors will get our Bandit upgrade, which is our economy line upgrade. And basically they'll pick up an average of anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour.
By law, they can't leave the factory going more than 19 miles an hour. They'll pull their dealer license and such. Well, to go street legal, a lot of states require 20 or 25 miles an hour. So you see, puts them in a pinch. That's where we come in.
Enough's not enough. You gotta just keep pushing higher every day. You know, apply that to everything in life. You know, you gotta push to be a better person each day.
All right, Jacob, we got to go see your twin brother over here, Noah, and see where the disassemble goes next.
Sounds good.
So what Noah's going to do is take the sander, and then he's going to sand some of the powder coating off the can. We want it to look good because that's, you know, it's our brand.
You got to look good, feel good, right?
That's right.
Look good, feel good,
Can't
drive
have it
fast.
any other way.
All right, Noah, so what are we doing over here?
Well, now that we sanded the cans, we're about to blast them in this glass beater. So I'll pick them up from down there, put them in here, close this door, and this machine's about to get really loud. The Steen family is close. It's about speed too. And that's a big part. But this company is all about bringing us closer together and just providing for ourselves and our family in a way that makes us happy.
He got one part of Dad, I got the other part.
Well, we both got stubbornness and kind of bullheadedness. I think that just runs in the Steen family. Pappy had it. Dad and Rick both have it. We obviously both have it.
Well, in the immortal words of my grandfather, we're not smart enough to know we can't do something, so we're just gonna go ahead and do it. That's stubbornness right there.
It's always about balance, you know? And that's one of the big things I think of when I think of Jacob and my twin, you know, having a brother, especially as business partners. You know, it's one thing in normal life, but when it comes to the business, there's a lot of needed balance, and it was kind of already there. And I mean, he loves math. He's good at math, whether he loves it or not. I'm fine at it. I don't enjoy it. You know, I'd much rather go lug something heavy.
All right, now we're going to take the motors that Noah blasted, and we're going to weld our signature handle
We're
on.
going to weld it?
I'm going to weld it. You're going to watch.
I'm going to watch, but I'm going to stand
Okay.
back.
I don't think any of us have ever
I think Matt plays golf.
once or twice every now and then.
I've
never touched a golf club.
I feel like I've heard him say he played golf.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else plays golf, but I do like to hit a couple rounds here and there.
That is something I always found weird growing up, was like, we do this much with golf carts, why don't we play golf?
We like racing them better than we like playing golf.
All right, Robbie, we've reached the end here. We just got that purple paint on. Your brother, Rick, he closes everything out. What are the final steps?
Well, what we do, the brush pack head has to be pressed onto the armature because it's a press-on fit.
Yeah, this is what I do before it's pressed on that armature. I had to put this brush pack in first. And once I put the brush pack in, then I will press the cap onto the armature. Once that's done, then I take the can and I line it up here. I take the armature.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, it get a little heavy. And I set it in here.
Mainly the motor builder. And I put them together, I test them, I make sure they're running right. So that's my main thing, is make sure the motor stays together.
The dyno machine is going to let us know that everything's working properly in the specs that we need it to be before we ship it out. Every motor has to make a trip through the dyno before it's ever boxed up and goes out.
So long story short is you guys test it before someone else starts
Exactly.
driving around testing.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for my father, you know, none of this what we got, we would have it now. You know, he's the one that started the company. He brought me and my brother in on it, and then we took it to a next step.
It was our grandfather who founded this and everything that this has been based off of. And he'd come down to the shop every day, almost every day when his legs would allow it, and just hearing him shuffle into the shop was almost the highlight of the day. He'd always be sure to tell us how proud he was of us, and that really meant a lot coming from him.
My father taught me you know, if you want something, you had to earn for it.
You know, a farmer would break something on a tractor and bring it up, and, you know, my dad would fix it, and, you know, he'd say, you know, what do I owe you? Pop said, oh, you don't owe me nothing, just bring me some, you know, corn, vegetables or something. And sure enough, they would come back and I'll ask Pop, you know, why don't you charge? I mean, how can you, you know, how can you go without charge? You got to charge something. And he told me, he said, you know, said, if I can't help my friends, he said, if I can't help my friends, what kind of man am I? So, he was just that kind of guy. Do anything for anybody. Everybody in the community knew him. And they respected him and all. And I just look back and hope I can be half the man that he was.
Robby, I haven't seen you for a couple of months. How's life been?
Been good, been busy. Business is good, making progress on the new shop building, and you know, trying to get the golf cart ready to go race it.
How are you balancing running a business with getting this thing going?
Well, most of the work on the golf cart's done in the evenings and on weekends and stuff, after hours.
The juices, are they starting to flow about breaking this record?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Right now, at the point where everything's operable, it's just, you want to check a lot of things to make sure that, you know, you've done the correct stuff and all. So, yeah, it's getting exciting.
Have you learned anything about the process in terms of, you know, how fast this will actually end up going?
Well, only thing I can do is compare it to what we've previously done with other battery packs that say 1/4 the power of this. So that's the only gauge you have, is you know what you've done in the past, and now you're adding so much more to it. So on paperwork, it looks like it would go a lot faster, but it's just one of those things you never really know until you get on the track, because what you know is not what's going to bite you, it's the unknowns.
6.5 years you've worked on this.
Yeah.
What does the patience that people don't see look like with this process?
And I don't know, because I don't have patience, and I don't understand it. The crazy part is, I look at this now, and if I said, man, if I had to go back at this stage, I'd say, man, I wouldn't do it. I don't have the patience for it.
I love Robby. He is, he's a very stressful person. He really wants to do everything just perfect. And if it's not just perfect, he tends to stress.
He gets stressed about everything. I don't care what it is. I just tell him, you need to calm down, man. You know, it ain't that bad. But he will get stressed out, man. He gets so stressed out, it's stressing me out. I got him calmed down a little bit better now than what it used to be. Man, it used to be he'd come in stressed out, leave, go stressed out. I said, man, you're gonna have a heart attack, man. You better ease up some.
Now my main job here is to calm him down.
Man, my brother's different, way different, you know. I always kind of take things in stride.
Robby, what are some of the updates with the actual cart here?
Jeff, what we got here, this is a E-Z-Go RXV chassis, and this is a stock chassis running stock suspension. So what we have up front is the auxiliary battery. This is the charger for the battery pack, which is 400 volts. We run dual brakes on it, front and rear. So you have a front brake that you can use for a line lock for burnouts. And then we run a separate rear brake system for the main reason that if the cart gets squirrely, rear brakes will help straighten it up. So I told the track owner, I said, we'll make 2 passes on the 1/4 mile. I don't care what it does, that's it. So the first pass we run on the 1/4 mile, it run like 115 miles per hour. And as I was coming back around, I noticed the cart was doing this right here, and I thought the crosswinds was blowing. So I looked up at the pine trees, and pine trees ain't moving. I'm thinking something is crazy about this. So I come back to the trailer, and I got a flat tire. Rear tire was flat. Picked up a screw or a nail on the return road. So Pop said, that's it, put it up, you know. So I told the guy that has the track, I said, have you got a plug kit? He said, oh yeah, we got a tractor, so I got a plug kit now. So he went and got a plug kit, and Pop was not happy at all. So we jack it up, we plug it. Now this is a golf cart tire just rated about 25 miles per hour, so you're actually going about 100 miles per hour. So we plugged it, pumped it up and all, and it was just on the big end, it was just like going like this, you know. And you just start you start thinking, what if happens? You know, here you are, you're on a bench seat of a golf cart, and you always think, if it breaks loose sideways and rolls, you're just gonna be a greasy spot. So anyway, risk to reward, it wasn't there, so that was it.
They the dumbest, brilliant people I ever knew. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Sprung a leak on the pipe.
In other words, they can be absolutely brilliant. I said, he's smart. You know, they're both smart. I said, dumb stuff. So, you know.
The battery pack that's in it come from John Metric EV Performance in Houston, Texas, which is basically 48 50-volt drone batteries. So it's 8 in series for 400 volts. It's paralleled 6 times for a little over 2,000 amps. These particular batteries are not really explosive type batteries. The danger of these batteries are whenever you damage them, they'll start to weep and they will gas off alcohol. So if you'll just imagine you have a bad battery pack and it gases off alcohol vapors, and now you've got contactors around it, you've got electric motor with brushes around it, the slightest arc, you've turned into a fireball.
As far as people go, he doesn't really listen to much people. I will say that I think he listens most to me because I'm a lot like him. And I know because I'm just as hard-headed as him. But as far as everyone, there's even only a certain scope he'll listen to me on, which ain't much, like 20% maybe.
He comes up with all these genius ideas that you think at first are like, this is crazy, it'd never work, and then it works.
And you got your main contactor, and then we got hold downs on the battery pack in case you flip the car, and then we have the steel plate, which is a fire protection plate that goes over the battery pack. Like I said, we got the parachute knob here. So if this battery pack catches on fire, then you pop this. As you pop this, it goes down, and there's a spray bar that sprays right on top of this battery, because see, you're gonna have that plate on it, you have to see. Physically, you're not gonna be able to get to it.
What would the Robby of a decade ago that started drag racing think of all these safety features?
He wouldn't have done none of them. The first Guinness World Record, no safety features, no roll cage, golf cart tires, plastic hubcaps.
The carts that we got now is more safer, you know, with the roll cage in it and all that. The first ones we did wasn't safe.
The last cart was running 119, and it was literally just a normal golf cart, and it did not have a whole lot of protection at all. But this one, it has the whole 9 yards. It's almost foolproof.
There should not be anything that's passed by as a safety flaw at this point.
They research everything they do. And as OCD as my husband is, and as Robby is, they're gonna make sure everything's perfect. You know, they're not gonna go out there and you know, intentionally just be a nut.
A lot of people, they'll have something like this and they say, man, I can't wait to go to the track, man, I'm just gonna pull the cord on this thing like that. That is not me. There's a lot can go wrong. And so I just wanna do my part smart, you know, give it my best shot, but do it as safely. Now, you're never gonna be 100% safe, but there's a lot of things, you know, you can do technically, and I don't wanna try it, but technically, you could barrel roll this at 200 miles per hour and walk away from it. There's no drag racing electric golf cart dummy book that you can read.
You could write it.
Yeah, and I probably made all those mistakes.
I definitely comprehend how crazy it is.
I think once we've got it to a point that the risk outweigh the reward, that we won't keep going.
My whole thing, and it's kind of crazy, the whole thing is just building a brand, you know. A brand that hopefully, you know, will go on for years and years and years, and to do that, you know, for it to be something substantial, you gotta meet certain marks. You gotta do certain things. So that's what we're, you know, trying to do with it.
We're on property that you've had for a long time.
Yep.
But this is just happening now.
Yeah, we've had the property for easily 30 plus years of this particular property. Some of it we've had for almost 40 years. The building will be 60 foot wide, 100 foot long. So up front will be the golf cart museum and stuff like that, where we'll put stuff up front for visitors and stuff. And then the offices will actually be tied to the museum, so that if people come in, Phyllis and Matt, they're up front, so somebody's there. In the back, 3/4 of it will be the work area where we do the motors and test them, package them, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It's mostly for people to see history. I mean, we'll have, like right now, we got the only golf cart drag racing museum in the world. Nobody else has one.
The timing of all this, how will breaking your own world record in terms of fastest golf cart help with the start of this?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work to do this, but what better way could you have to enter a new building, setting a new Guinness World Record, and now you like open up that next chapter and stuff. So, you know, that's the way I look. But there again, at the same token, I mean, it's like we talk about that, nothing's guaranteed. I mean, you know, yeah, I want to break it. I feel good about it, but some things ain't up to me. I hope after it's done, it, you know, people say, man, that's pretty cool. I never would have believed you could go that fast, you know, on basically a 85% stock golf cart. So as long as we give it the best, and the main thing, nobody gets hurt, then, you know, I'm satisfied with whatever it comes of it, you know. I feel confident everything I could do to make it right is done. I can't control everything. And you know, the things that I can't control is something breaking or something like that, which if you push something far enough, you push it till it breaks.
It's just about 1 o'clock, and of course, nothing can go perfect in this world. We just had a little bit of a rain delay. Robby, and then Matt Jones, we've added on our drag racing consultant today.
Right.
So first I gotta ask you guys, because I didn't want it to rain, but it did. Now
Right.
what?
Well, it didn't rain bad enough.
That was just a sprinkle.
Yeah, whenever sun dries it up and it'll drag it a little bit, I think we'll be good.
Is there a reason to be concerned right now?
No, not really. I mean, the track crew, I mean, they'll prep stuff up. I'm not worried about it.
Now, we've been talking to him a lot. Is he crazy for what he's doing right now? You know, what is going to happen today in your mind?
He's very crazy, but it takes a crazy bunch of crew to come with him to do it too.
That's right. It's not a one-man show. It takes a lot to do this. In a situation like we're in now what's got me nervous is the people you don't want to let down. You know, your sponsors, everybody involved in putting this together. You feel obligated, you know, that you need to do to achieve it, to break that record. And if you don't, you're gonna feel like you're a failure. Whereas before, you know, if I didn't make it one day, I didn't worry about it. Come back next week, try it again. Do you think about it? Well, whenever you get in it, you got to clear that away. You got to, you know, you got to have tunnel vision, and it happens so fast. You just gotta let you know, if it gets to a certain point, it's out of your control, you just lock in and hold on. That's all you can do. What we'll do is go over a few of the safety factors on the cart. Up here at the front, if we have a live fire, this actually goes to the chargers and stuff. And then we have a extinguisher on back that's 100 pounds of water that has a spray bar going on top of the pack. So if it catches on fire, I can get out, I can hit that to kind of delay some stuff while y'all coming down there. Inside the front here, we have a driver's disconnect, an A and B connector. It's not in now, but when it's in, I can just pull that out if there's a problem with the car. Hopefully, we don't have any issues, but I appreciate both of y'all being here, man.
Yes, sir. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, Robby is set. We're off in 10. Crew, stand by, 10. We are off to the races.
Oh, good God. With our test card on the Pro Mod, it did 140 on that. Yeah. But the reason the Pro Mod didn't break loose on this track was the longer wheelbase. This one, the problem is it's crossing over that gap because it's a gap about that far and then it drops down. So it's passing over and both sets of wheels are airborne and then it hits the ground and that's where it's breaking loose. He'll just have to open up the computer and see what he can do with it and see about if he's gonna make another one or not. We'll just have to see.
Well, if I go more to the right hand of the lane,
It is smoother. You ought to ride in and look at it. The right-hand side of the lane, Chuck and I were actually just talking about that. The right-hand side of the lane has got a smoother transition there versus the left side of the lane.
we're gonna run it farther to the right-hand side of the lane. Okay. All right. So I guess everybody's ready. All right. I love you.
Great.
That was 102 miles an hour at a 13-second.
But it looked better. Either you were ready for it, one.
Yeah, well, Bo, I was ready for it, you know, but still,
right.
You don't get used to that.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You know, especially not in the tin can.
That's right.
So it spun the rim inside the tire.
The rim
is
spinning
because it's not lined up exactly. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, because it was lined up when it was painted.
Because that
so
means
it's
spinning without the, either the tire spinning without the rim or most likely the rim spinning without the tire.
Yeah, something ain't running right.
Number one is safety. You know, and I'm the one that called a shot if we're gonna run it or if we're not gonna run it. And so, hey, I'll take full responsibility. I just pull the plug on it. It's not worth it. You know, I ain't worried about tearing something up on this. I'm worried about tearing me up. You know what I'm saying?
He's gone twice. There's some problems with the car right now. Will Robby run again?
Absolutely. I spoke with him just a few minutes ago and confirmed with him. I was helping him pack his parachute. Confirmed with him that he was going to run again.
Good. All right, let him know this is going to be the last one. And all the stuff going up to it and all, this will be the first one that Pop won't be there. And we wouldn't be where we are, you know, without him and his knowledge. But yeah, he'd be excited. He wouldn't be thrilled with it, with the fact that what we're doing. He never was. I mean, so I'm not proud of doing stupid stuff. So as you get older, you start realizing, you know, you ain't gonna live forever. you better take care of yourself. So just do what we can do, and what happens, happens. We'll just, you know, we'll see how things go.
Between the track being wet, the battery pack not being strong enough, and it just breaking loose because of that rut, that's about as good as it's going to do.
You think that was the transition again?
It was. Every time it breaks loose at that same spot.
God, you couldn't keep it in the road.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, but down there, I mean, it's okay. The first half, it's okay, but down there at that,
as soon as you hit that transition?
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's just like, whenever it goes, it just like,
yeah.
You know, there's not like a whole lot of anticipation on it, you know? But it's just, it just ain't safe. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I get it, yeah. We can see it from here.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't stupid. Now, I heard the tires spinning some more. Did y'all hear the tires spinning down here? But still, it just ain't worth turning it up more and take a chance of
tearing something else up.
Well, I ain't worried about tearing this up. I'm worried about tearing me up.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely.
So, yeah, I might look stupid and I play the part, but I ain't that stupid. It is what it is. We'll, you know, I've had maybe a tad of that, but not really, not enough for you to even notice it. You just know you hit the transition, wouldn't be no problem.
Yes, sir.
This is the first time I ever hit the one that gets your attention.
Oh, it got mine the first time. I was like, oh my Lord.
And so, yeah, that's, and as bad as I want to set the record, I ain't, you know, I'm not going to push something that ain't right, and it ain't right. I've been down here dozens and dozens of times, and I've never had that for a trend. So I never even thought about it, never thought it'd be an issue, because I'm not a professional racer, don't claim to be, don't want to be. You know, this is just all promoting, you know, a product and stuff like that. So I'll be first one to tell you, yeah, I was scared. I mean, it's because something like that can hit you quick. My main thing was, from the first time it happened, and it moved over, now it's in the back of your mind, which is a good thing, because now you're going to try to anticipate it. The bad thing is it's in your mind, you know? So you're thinking about it. But each run, it got worse and worse. And then, of course, you're hearing some tire spin and stuff like that and all. If I've got my choice of a record and not safe, or just, you know, I'm not going to, you know, because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to set that kind of example, you know, for the kids and stuff like that. So it's bad enough doing stupid stuff, but, you know, you got to know when to stop. Well, the potential and, you know, far as the battery pack, the setup and all, you're probably looking at something that could achieve 170 miles an hour on paper. Now, it don't always work that way.
When we came out here to Darlington Dragway, we thought this was going to be the wrap on our story. Robby Steen was going to break his own world record once again. It didn't happen. But Robby once told us nothing in life is guaranteed. And now he goes back to the drawing board and tries to figure out what went wrong, what can be improved, and how he gets it done. We have no doubt Robby will keep on persevering and try to get this done. For us, it's been a joy just to follow this family's story, this true American story, as they've gone after their goal of breaking their own record.